Hello and namaste, and welcome to Zoom Yoga number 57. As always, we'll start with the opening quote from a J.C. Watts. Character is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. There are too many people who think that the only thing that's right is to get by, and the only thing that's wrong is to get caught. I'll read that once more. Character is doing the right thing when nobody is looking. There are too many people who think that the only thing that's right is to get by, and the only thing that's wrong is to get caught. Okay, today we'll lie down in Shavasana, and we'll just go back to basics, and we'll just practice the full yogic breath. So lie on your back, floppy feet, slightly more than hip width apart, which relaxes the whole leg muscles. Palms facing upwards, just slightly away from the torso. Check that your chin is not painting the ceiling, so you don't have it arched right back, your neck right back. Take your left shoulder and just gently lift it up and just ease it back down again into a comfortable position. And then we do the same with the right. And just take your awareness to your lower back. Most of us have a natural curve there, some more than others, stronger. So just take that curve and just flatten it down, flatten that lordosis in the lower back onto the ground and release naturally. So it's just like a tilt, pelvic tilt. So we inhale as we just flatten down and release. Do this a few times. Remember, Shavasana, the mind, body relaxer. It's where you let go of the old to make space for the new. So if there's anything in your mind at the moment, anything concerning you or worrying you, just imagine, visualize yourself getting up just now, walking to the door of whatever room you're in, and take those worries, take those concerns, and just place them outside the door. And you can choose to pick them up again after the practice, if you wish. So we're going to go back to basics, just a simple, full yogic breath. So that, of course, it's one breath, but it's three parts. So if we take the left hand and just place it in our abdomen, and all we're going to concentrate on is taking a slow, smooth inhalation and inflating the abdomen. So we're just going to exaggerate the movement. So as we inhale, we allow the diaphragm pushes down, which causes a distension of the abdominal organs, which inflates the abdomen. Natural pause, and then release. So the left hand is just rising and falling with each inhalation. So we're not trying to take the breath up fully through the lungs and expand the rib cage. We're just inhaling, allowing the abdomen to rise. Wait for your natural pause. Exhale, release. Just enough to inflate the abdomen. Remember that natural pause, it's said to be the seed of meditation. So you're not in a hurry to release the breath. You're allowing the breath to remain in till the body's done its job. One more breath. And then we'll take our awareness away from the abdomen and we'll place our fingers, place our hands on the rib cage with our fingertips touching. We're just going to bring the awareness to the rib cage. So we're not going to inflate the stomach. We're going to inhale and expand the rib cage. So again, you're exaggerating the movement. Exhale, release. So by inhaling, the fingertips may separate. Wait for your natural pause and release. Inhale so you can feel the intercostal muscles stretching, internal and external. Hold and release. One more. And be careful not to strain the muscles doing this. I know someone who was so keen to expand the rib cage that they pulled an intercostal muscle. Now release both hands and just take the right hand and place it on your upper chest. And we're just going to take in enough air, a little puff of air, just to raise the upper chest. This shows how a lot of people breathe. The breath is very shallow and very quick, which is hardly any oxygen going into the body. Whereas in the yogic breath, this is the last portion of air going into the lungs. The final puff of breath required to fill up the lungs. But you can see how shallow it is. Now place the hand back down the side. So we're lying in Shavasana, and we're going to do the full yogic breath. So as we inhale, abdomen inflates. The air begins to fill up the lungs. Rib cage expands. And then the final puff of air in the upper chest. You wait for your natural pause. Then relax as you exhale. Relax the muscle structures. So a few more of these. Slow, smooth, and deep with awareness. You can feel the muscles stretching. Of course, we're exaggerating the process, but we're just trying to bring back a good breathing practice with a conscious breath. So now, if you wish, you can apply Mula Bandha. It's an anal lock. So as we inhale, you're gently tightening the sphincter, your anal muscles, as you inhale, but you're still allowing the abdomen to inflate. So this is a tricky part. Full yogic breath. Exhale as you release Mula Bandha, release the lock. So be careful as you apply the anal lock, you're not tightening your abdominal muscles as well. which will restrict the abdomen from rising. Takes a bit of practice and a bit of time, but this gives a vast amount of energy, but it also exercises all the structures in this area of the body, all the plumbing structures. Inhale, apply the lock, full yogic breath. Inflate the stomach, expand the rib cage, puff of air. Wait for the natural pause. And then you release the lock as you exhale. As you exhale, you can add, pulling back the stomach to the spine. Again, you'll feel the tightness. The wrap around muscles. So inhale, inner lock, full yogic breath. Wait for your natural pause. Keeping the lock on. As you exhale, you release your inner lock as you gently pull the stomach back towards the spine. Gently. And if you're not used to doing this, you will feel the muscles that you're not used to using. So if you want to do this every second breath and miss out the inner lock and stomach pulling back retraction, to give the muscles a break. Inhale, inner lock. Full yogic breath. Hold the lock. Wait for the natural pause. Exhale, relax the lock. Gently pull the abdomen back towards the spine. So you're given a wonderful massage, contraction and release of all the structures. And this is a great way to build up energy within the body. And you can add another aspect if you wish, is once you've pulled the stomach back towards the spine, you can pull it gently up behind the rib cage. Gently, because you can feel, the minute you do this, you feel the contraction of all the associated muscles. And release. So we're inhaling, inner lock, still allowing the abdomen to rise, rib cage to expand, puff of air in the clavicle area. Wait for the natural pause with the lock. And as you release the lock, release the breath. Gently pull back with the abdomen, ever so gently. And then only if you wish, Uddiyana Bandha, you pull the muscles up behind the rib cage. Gently. Otherwise you will pull muscles. And if you do this for 5-10 minutes, the next day you will feel that something's happened because you're using muscles in a way that you probably haven't for a considerable time, if at all. But it's a squeeze, release, squeeze, release. It keeps everything fresh, everything working, everything healthy. Good for females after having given birth. Good for the prostate situation in men. Good for prolapses. A wonderful exercise. So 3 more breaths in your own time. Very relaxing. And of course, you're cleansing the body from a cellular level, oxygenating the blood, purifying the lungs, calming the nervous system, which helps to bring clarity of thought because you're getting some spaces between your thoughts. Because remember, you've left all your worries and woes outside. And the beauty being, after the practice, if you go outside, you may feel the need not to pick up the ones that you left outside. So relax all efforts. Allow the body to breathe naturally. We're going to take our right arm, raise it up, and we're going to do a simple figure of 8. So we'll start with the smallest 8 possible. So we're pointing our finger up, and we're just going to start inhale on the upward movement, around, exhale in the downward movement. So we're going to start drawing a figure of 8. That the movement is in line with the breath. We start very small, inhale, the upward movement, exhale on the downward. And we're just going to slowly expand the size of the 8. You can be as creative as you wish. The 8 doesn't have to be symmetrical. We're just trying to increase the range of movement with the shoulder and the arm. So the right arm, you can come right across the body. You can stretch right out laterally. Point right down to your toes. Try and keep that awareness on the movement in line with the breath. The breath dictates everything. That's that full yogic breath we've just been practicing. Really exaggerate that stretch. As you point up behind the head, you're getting a lovely stretch. And then lateral across the body, out to the side, and then pointing down. And then begin to reduce it again. You can make the 8 a favorite color. You can even change the colors. And this is a way you will deepen the practice with awareness and movement and breath. And if you're fully concentrating on this, you're not too concerned about anything else. And take it down to the smallest 8. And then when you're ready, change to the left arm. Inhaling in the upward movement, exhaling in the downward. Starting with the smallest 8, building up to the largest, and then coming back down. Slow, smooth, deep breaths. As you ease your arm and shoulder into the movements. Don't let your mind drift away. Stay completely centered on the practice. Wherever you're at, start to slowly reduce the size of the head. Then lower your arm. Now we take the right leg and we do the very same. Try to keep the leg as straight as possible. Inhale on the upward movement. Exhale on the downward as you do in the figure of eight. But be careful with this one because obviously it's a heavier limb. So don't go straight in the groin. So just try to keep the leg as straight as possible. You can increase the range of movement by bending the leg, but then you're not getting the same benefits. The minute you feel you're getting a strain in the groin, then you stop. Inhale on the upward movement, exhale on the downward. Back down to the small eight. Gently lower down. Of course, you're doing this in your own time. You can pause the video and continue for as long as you wish. Change to the left leg when you feel ready. Again, try to get the lateral movement. Inhale on the upward movement, exhale on the down. And slowly reduce the size of the eight. Lower the leg. Lie in Shavasana with the palms facing upwards and allow the body to breathe naturally. And smile. Anytime I say smile, it's because I've naturally smiled and it reminds me to tell you to smile. And with each exhalation, you're trying to soften and surrender the whole of the body onto the ground. So now we're going to take our feet to our seat, to our bottom. We're going to place our hands on our thighs. And we're going to do simple sit-ups just by inhaling, and as we exhale, we slide the hands up the thighs. It doesn't matter how far you get. You can inhale, exhale, and exhale as you come up, and then inhale as you come down. Or you can slide up and have a breath in the curl position, or 2 breaths, whatever works for you. We'll start simple, inhale, and as you exhale, you just lift up the chin, and then you just slide the hands up the thighs. It doesn't matter how far they get. Wait for your natural pause. Then lower down again. Inhale. Exhale, relax. Inhale before you move. Exhale as you tuck the chin in. Sit up, look at your knees, slide your hands up. So you can continue in this style. Inhale as you slide down. Or you can stay in the curled position and have a breath or 2 breaths if you feel that your stomach muscles are up to it. So just continue in your own pace. Exhale as you come up, you can hold, have a breath. Inhale as you release. You can stay down for a few comfort breaths if you feel a buildup of lactic acid. But the beauty of this posture is it's slow, it's smooth, it's with awareness, with the breath, and you're protecting your lower back by having the feet at the seat. It doesn't matter how far you come up, you're still getting a good contraction of the abdominal muscles. And if you're tucking your chin in, you're squeezing the thyroid area. Nice and easy. You're flattening the lower back. It's nice and slow. You're allowing the body to relax and release. Three more of whatever style you're doing. Exhaling as you come up. Inhaling as you go down. Keeping your feet at the seat. Check and feel that they're parallel. Place the hands down the side of the body, and we're just going to raise the seat. Not aggressively, just inhale as you raise the seat, and then readjust your feet to a comfortable position. And we're going to keep the seat up, and already you feel the thigh muscles contracting, the gluteals. We're going to inhale as we stretch our arms behind us and relax. And again, readjust the feet so they're in a comfortable position and you feel like you're being well supported. And we're just going to inhale and stretch through those arms. and relax. So we're not aggressively lifting the seat, we're more just inhaling and stretching through the arms, which will allow the seat to lift up slightly, but you're not consciously lifting the seat. Inhale, stretch, elongate the body. And you feel a contraction in the thighs and the gluteals. So we're just going to take the ankles and move them in just a little, move them closer to the bottom. And again, you'll feel right away that the thigh muscles are stronger contraction, the gluteals. And we're just going to stretch through the arms. And soften. Again, we're stretching the intercostals. You can feel the stretch under the armpits. Inhale, really elongate and soften. And again, if you feel you can move the feet closer, a few breaths and then move it closer again. And as you stretch, elongate the body will naturally lift up. So you're not consciously lifting up aggressively, you're just allowing it to happen naturally. And you decide again after 3 or 4 breaths, if there's any more movement to be had in that with the ankles. And then you feel what's happening in the thighs, the gluteals, and the torso. You have the option as well of lifting either leg, so it becomes a balance, a strengthening, and a stretch. But we shan't do that one today. Or if you feel like doing it, pause the video and raise each leg. So relax all efforts and begin to lower the arms. And then you're trying to get the seat and the hands to touch the ground at the same time. Your bottom may not get on the ground completely if you've taken your ankles in close to your seat. So release the feet. Lie in Shavasana and let the body breathe naturally. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immersing myself in the present moment. I know it's a beautiful. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immersing myself in the present moment. I know it's a beautiful moment. Now we'll do an old favorite, Supta Pavamuktasana, the wind releasing pose. We've done this many times. So we're going to bend the right leg as we inhale, and as we exhale, we clasp the right knee and we come up and squeeze. Stay in this position for 2, 3, or 4 breaths, whatever works for you. Inhale as you release. Exhale as you slide away. Then it's both legs. Inhale as we slide the left and then the right heel along. Exhale as you squeeze, clasp it at the knees. Stay in this position for a few breaths. Inhale as you release gently. Exhale as you slide away. You know the style, we've done this many times. Now obviously it's the left leg. Inhale as we bend the left leg. Exhale as we clasp at the knee and squeeze. You're trying to keep the outstretched legs straight. You can tuck your chin in as far as you wish onto the chest. I'm trying to keep mine away from swallowing my microphone. It doesn't matter how close the knee gets to the torso. A few breaths. So we're squeezing the nodes, inguinal nodes, the nodes into the armpit. We're squeezing the thyroid, stretching the back. We're contracting the arms. We're massaging the stomach. A wonderful exercise for releasing tension. Inhale as we release. Exhale, slide away. So one more round in your own time. Right leg, both legs, left leg. Inhale, exhale, squeeze. Both legs in your own time. If you find you're getting the thighs completely flat on the torso, as you squeeze, then you can separate the knees and place your hands between the knees and clasp the outside of the feet. That will give you a stronger squeeze yet again. You can even take your elbows above your knees and use them for leverage as well. If that's enough, you can even cross the arms and clasp the opposite feet. Many options. If in doubt, you just pause the video, have a run through the sequence, and then practice in your own time. And then finally, the left leg. So the order of right, both and left legs is because you're massaging the colon, the ascending, transverse and descending colon. So it aids digestion. Stretch out. Again, relax in Shavasana for a few breaths, allowing the body to breathe naturally. If you have a favorite mantra, this is a time to say it. You can smile. You can keep it simple. Let peace begin with me. Let me begin with peace. Or breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immerse myself in the present moment. I know it's a beautiful moment. So now we're going to place the right foot on the left knee. So we bend the left leg, and right foot on left knee. The reason I'm starting with this one is this is my tightest side. So I'm going to start with my tightest side, and then you do the opposite side, and then you finish with your tightest side. So now we're going to clasp. You can either clasp under the leg, under the thigh, the hamstrings. You can come further up. You can clasp under the knee, or if you have the flexibility, you can clasp over the knee. So the right leg is on top of the left knee. You're clasping the knee, and you just start to breathe naturally. As you gently pull in the left knee. So as I say, you can start with any side, but with time and experience, you realize which side is tighter than. So for me, it's the left, so I always start with the left. For some people, they get a sore neck doing this, keeping the head up. So again, you can lean back and lie flat on the ground, but it's a different stretch. Just relax into the procedure. Couple more breaths. Gently release. A quick athletic flip, and it's a left foot on top of the right knee. And as I say, you clasp wherever's comfortable. You can clasp under the thigh, on the hamstrings, under the knee, or if you're flexible enough, over the knee. Relax and do it. Start to breathe slowly and deeply. It's a wonderful stretch, this. As I say, if you find it uncomfortable keeping the chin tucked in, and everyone's used to this position, you can just relax as you lean back and rest the head. But as you feel, it's a completely different stretch. So go with the one that works for you. Full yogic breath, focusing on your natural pause and sneaking in the odd smile too. Couple more breaths and then release. So normally I would go back to my other side so I get to balance up the body, but I won't today. So feet on the ground, stretch away. Relax in Shavasana, floppy feet, palms facing upwards. Check your chin is not painting the ceiling. And don't control the breath in any way, just allow it to come of its own accord. Let the body recalibrate. So you may feel relaxed enough that you don't need a mantra. There's already spaces between the thoughts. So you just be. Or if you find that you still have some things on your mind, then you try to eradicate that by using a mantra. Thought protection, mantra. Sanskrit word man is thought, tra is protection. So now we're going to take our palms down the side of the body, take our legs parallel. We're going to do the 3 versions of the boat. In fact, it's 4 versions. So we're not lifting any limbs. But we're just going to inhale, and we're going to stretch along with our fingers, stretch out with our toes, and relax. So the limbs may gently come off the ground, but you're not trying to lift. So we're just inhaling, stretching through the fingers, pointing through the toes, holding for your natural pause, and relax. Full yogic breath. Very nice. Inhale, stretch through the fingers, point through the toes, and relax. Now you can continue in this vein if you wish, or you can now consciously lift the limbs. If you've lower back problems, don't lift the feet, don't lift the ankles off the ground. But now we're just going to inhale as we look towards our toes. We take our hands off the ground up in line with our hips, and we take the feet off the ground enough just for the calf muscles to clear the ground. We don't want the legs away up like this. We don't have to come up high, just enough to create a contraction, but don't raise the feet if you've lower back problems. And then lower down with the exhalation. Take a comfort breath or two. We're not trying to win any medals or break any records. We're just trying to rid the body of stress and tension, cleanse the lungs, calm the nervous system. So we inhale as we look towards the toes, gently raise the hands off the ground, gently raise the heels just far enough for the calf muscles to clear the ground. Hold for your natural pause. And lower down, controlled lower down. You don't collapse in a heap. Try to keep your class. Keep your class entering the posture and keep enough concentration, energy, class when you leave the posture. A bit like relationships. One more in your own time. Inhale as you look towards the toes, lift up. You can do this first thing in the morning in the bed, last thing at night. It just eases any tension out of the body. First thing in the morning, it gives you a rude awakening. And it's soft in the bed because the mattress absorbs a lot of the movement. Now, a more aggressive boat, we're going to do the very same lift up, but we're going to clench our fists, clench our face, and contract everything as we inhale, as we come up, hold the breath and contract and then lower down. So we inhale, fists at the side of the hips, contract everything, contract the face. And then slowly release as you go down. You definitely need a few comfort breaths for this one to get rid of the lactic acid. Perhaps a cheeky smile too. And in your own time again, you clench your fist, inhale, clench your fists, face, and muscles, up you come. Gently release, controlled release and lower down. Very relaxing. One more if you wish. It's up to you how many of these you do. It'll be different every day, depending where you're at. Last one. Clench, Screw up your face, contract all your muscles. Now we're going to sit up, so you can either slip your hands behind your lower back and push up, or you can come up with the balancing boat, and then you sit up after that. So this time, for the balancing boat, this time we do raise our legs higher to get the balance. So we inhale as we come up, raise the legs higher, hands at the side of the knees, a bit wobbly myself today. And this is your balancing boat. You can balance for as long as you wish. My thighs are actually shaking today. Again, too much cycling yesterday. So I'll just gently come up as you tip forward and up you come. If this isn't for you, then you just slip your hands behind your lower back, gently push up. Threading the needle. So we'll come into the all fours position. Again, we've done all of these many times, not necessarily in this sequence. So it's important to make up your own sequence, make up the style of postures that work for you in any particular day. Try not to think about it too much. Try to get into a flow, that one movement just effortlessly moves on to another. Okay, threading the needles. So we're going to raise, make sure your hands are under your shoulders. If this is too much for your wrists, you can move your fingers forward a little. Make sure your knees are under your hips. And don't be too shy with regard to the size of the hips, because you need it for balance. We're going to raise the right arm up as we inhale, and we stop at the top. For as many breaths as feels comfortable. So inhale as we open up the body, exhale, soften. Pardon me. Then when you feel you want to move, down you come, slip the hand underneath, thread the needle. You can stop at your elbow, or you can continue right through to your shoulder. And then we'll raise the left. Stay here for a few breaths. You come out, down with the left arm, up we come, and thread the needle. Now we'll raise the left arm and thread that. So we inhale as we come up. Stay in this position. Remember, it doesn't matter if this is as far as you can get, this, it doesn't matter. And start to breathe gently. If you've had enough, down you come, thread your arm through. As I say, you can rest on the elbow and then raise your right, or if you feel you've got the flexibility to thread it right through, down you go, and up you come with the right. So it's a comfortable position, you're well supported. So it's just a case of relaxing into the breath and awareness with a stretch. When you're ready to come out, push down with the right, And then from this position, again, you can continue and do more rounds of that if you wish. But from this position, we'll go into a simple lunge as we take the right leg forward to the outside of the right hand. Adjust the position of your hands and just check that you're comfortable. So have a wee stretch forward to see that nothing's feels untoward, and you can lean back as well. My hamstrings are very tight, so that's a little uncomfortable. Okay, so you can decide if you want palms on the ground, as I have at present, and we're inhaling, coming through, looking up, concave in the back, and then softening through. Or you can have fists, remember, either horizontal or vertical. And again, it just raises it up so the angle and the stretch in the back is different. Inhale as you look up, exhale as you soften. Or your fingers. You can come up on your fingers, but ensure that the thumb is directly under the thumb joint to create a post, so you're not going to damage yourself. And again, you'll see that it's completely different up on the fingers. You can come through, inhale, look up, concave the back, and then soften into the lunge. So play about and decide which one is for you. Obviously, the palms on the ground is the more testing one. Inhale as you come up, concave, exhale as you soften. You can do a mixture of them. But remember, it takes 6 seconds for muscles, tendons, ligaments to start to relax. So on a different day, decide which version works for you. So 3 more breaths and stretches of whichever one you're doing. Inhaling as you come up, concave the back. Exhale as you soften into the lunge. And if you think of it, we've warmed up all these areas. Now check that you've got the balance, because we're going to come up with our hands. So normally, I take my leg and just cross it, my left leg, cross it behind my back. I check that I've got the strength through my right foot, and we're just going to come up. Raise the arms, stretch up, and gently lean back. And this is where I take this leg and I take this foot across the body, which gives the balance. So we're inhaling as we stretch up, gently lean back. This is all we're doing. Inhale up, gently lean back. And from this position, if you want, you can open the body up around to the left. Then you have this. This is why you need, this is why I said earlier on to check the width of your feet. So we inhale as we stretch through and then soften into the lunge. Again, you decide how many breaths feels comfortable in this position. But to come out, you inhale as you come up, turn around, then we change sides. You understand that you can stay in any of these positions for as long as you wish, once you perfect the movement, and there's no strain and there's no shaking and you're not getting out of breath. And again, as you get to know the posture better, you can adjust your mat accordingly if you need more support under your knees. It's very important. So left foot forward, left foot on the outside of the left hand, and then check your lunge position, that you haven't overextended yourself. Come back to see that your hamstrings are fine, depending on what you've been doing the previous day. And then decide if you want the palms down, fists, or fingers. So you know by now that palms down is a lot more strenuous for the back. Fists, slightly easier again. Fingers, much easier. Easier in the back, but you get further in the lunge. So settle into your preferred option. Inhale as you come through and look up. Exhale, soften. Slow, smooth, and deep. And remember, if you're straining at any time, then you must come out of it. If you're out of breath, you come out of it. If you're uncomfortable or a knee's aching, you come out, you increase the padding, and you go back into it. Three more breaths. And then check that you have the width. As I say, I take my foot, my right leg, and place it into the center of my body. And before you come up, check that you've got the stance before you come up with the full weight. Up you come, stretch up. Inhale, lift up, stretch up. Exhale, soften, lean back, and lunge. And when you're ready, turn around to the right. Stretch out. Inhale, stretch through the arms, soften through. Inhale as you come up, turn around. And come out of the posture. Right, we're going to go back on our back and we're going to do two simple inverted postures. A preliminary plow. So our palms are down on the ground, the side of our body. We're going to take our feet to our seat. Now we're looking for we're trying to keep as much of the lower back on the ground as possible. And because I've damaged my lower back too many occasions, if you want to support your lower back, you can take your fists, place them slightly under your buttocks. We're going to bend, and all we're going to do is raise the legs. And we're not looking to get the legs away back like this by taking the lower back off the ground. We're trying to keep as much of the lower back on the ground whilst also keeping the legs straight. This is a stretch for the lower back and the hamstrings. And already in my case, my leg is shaking a little because my body doesn't particularly like this one. So keep the legs straight, as much of the lower back on the ground as possible. If you've got a weak lower back, then support it by putting the fists under the buttocks. This is all we're looking for. And already I've got a little shake. And if you wish, you can open the legs, keeping the legs straight, and close. Now, for example, many days I can do this quite easily, other days it's an effort. So it depends what I've put my body through the previous day. Open the leg, keep the leg straight, we'll close. A couple more in your own time. So if this is enough for you, lower your legs. But if you want a slightly different posture, you place the palms on the ground, push through the hands, bend, and you're just pushing up ever so slightly and putting your hands under your waist. Inverted posture. So again, we're not looking to get the feet all the way down behind the head onto the ground. We're just keeping, is it 45 degrees? You're supporting the hips, elbows and hands. Just relax into this. Let the brain get some fresh, oxygenated blood. Stretching the lower back, hamstrings. To come out, you bend at the knees. Place the palms on the ground. And slowly, vertebra by vertebra, roll the back onto the ground. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Clasp the knees. Just going to roll from side to side. Gives you a lovely wee massage to the lower back. Nice and easy. If you roll right over to the side, you can even use your elbows to give yourself a nudge back up. And then we're going to rock forward and backwards. So clasping these firmly. Again, you're ensuring you have enough support under the back. You keep going back and forth until you have enough momentum to come right up. So now get into any comfortable sitting position. For me, it's always Vajrasana. It's my favorite sitting position. You can sit in a chair. It can be Sukhasana. It can be legs stretched out. You can lean against a wall. Just allow the body to settle down. So it's a lot of postures today. I've overrun a little. So you have a choice to repeat your own mantra. Say no mantra and see how peaceful your mind is. Or breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immersing myself in the present moment. I know it is a beautiful moment. So as I say, use your own personal mantra, or just allow the thoughts to come of their own accord. See how calm you are mentally. Or use the mantra that I'll say the mantra a few times and I'll leave you with whatever method you've chosen. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immersing myself in this present moment. I know it's a beautiful moment. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, I smile. Immersing myself in this present moment. I know it's a beautiful moment. So I'll read out the opening quote again, and then I'll finish with the closing quote. So J.C. Watts, character is doing the right thing when nobody's looking. There are too many people who think that the only thing that's right is to get by, and the only thing that's wrong is to get caught. There's a much easier way to look at this, and it comes from the French proverb. There's no pillow so soft as a clear conscience. There's no pillow so soft as a clear conscience. So it doesn't really matter what's happening externally or all around you, especially in these unusual times. But if you can go to sleep at night and your pillow is soft, then you've done okay. As always, thank you very much. Namaste with much love.